But often most of our energy goes in thinking, well, I wish they had them or they should have had them. And when I'm listening to you, what I'm hearing is that it's not even the belief that they don't love me or love me enough. It's the belief that somewhere inside, I am not lovable.
Yes.
So she grew up with drug addict parents. And when your parents are fucked up in the head, they don't give you the amount of love that you properly need as a child. You know, if you're raised in a single mother household, if you are raised by parents who are like fucked up drug addicts, you know, verbally abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive, right? When they physically beat you and then they, you know, verbally tear you down right after the beating. You're not going to raise a normal, well-adjusted child. You're not going to raise a normal, well-adjusted human, right? I had to go through so much fucking therapy myself to get back to, like, you know, being normal, and then continue working on myself due to the crazy shit that happened in my like psychotic upbringing as a child. So, you know, this is exactly what happened to Jada Pinkett Smith here. And typically what happens when you are going through these troubles, right? Women tend to hit the streets a little earlier. Listen to what she says.
Yes.
Right? It's so inside you. It's not even about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not valuable. I'm not.
Yeah. It's because that's your mirror at first, right? But it's so complicated and nuanced. Do I believe my father loved me? Of course, in the way that he could. I think that he felt the most loving thing he could do was tell me, I can't be your father. And I respected that, even at 7, because I was like, at least somebody's telling me the truth.
But that's so fucked up. Like to tell your child, like, this is what a lot of single mothers do too, which is just terrible. Okay. Like they fucking talk to their children like they're adults, because it just like you rob the children of their childhood. You rob them of that safety. You know, I know girls who were raised by crazy bitches, and their mothers would, you know, be fucking telling them this crazy shit at a young age, to me like, oh, you know, this is why your father left, and your father's a dirtbag, and blah, 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 and all this shit. And you know, the reality is just so fucking sad and heartbreaking. Because you're robbing that child of that safety, because a kid is just needs to be in like a delusional blanket of love and safety, and then educated properly. That's how you raise like a decent kid. So for her father to be like, I can't be your father, and you're 7, and she's like, okay, I understand. Like, that's so fucking detrimental. I feel so bad for her, honestly.
I've always respected hardcore truths. That is one thing about me. I respect hardcore truths. Doesn't mean I always like them, but I freaking respect them.
Then you need to go to therapy, because you're crazy and you're ruining your family.
7.
At
like
7.
That lesson started.
That's a gangster hardcore truth to tell a child. But then at the same time, that seed within me that is like, well, are all men like that? Like, if my dad doesn't love me.
God, this is so fucking red pill as fuck right now. Okay, so, and this is, you see how she said that? Are all men like that? Because when a woman has a bad experience with her father from the get-go, you have to understand, your mother is the gateway for you to understand all women, and your father is a gateway for you to understand all men as a woman, right? So that's why when the daddies leave, right? What is the most common joke we say in America? Oh, she's got daddy issues. But 9 times out of 10, why did dad leave? The mom kicked him out. The mom divorced him. The mom thought she could fucking do better on her own because she's listening to all her other stupid whore single friends who spread that divorce virus. If your girl got a friend that's breaking up or going through a divorce, you need to like move cities or get away from that girl, because that shit will jump on your marriage with the quickness. You got to protect your marriage from all the outside forces, bro. And you know, that right here is just like terrifyingly red pill, because it's so fucking true. She says like, so are all men like this? And that's why When the single mother divorces the father, she kicks him out, and then does the mother say like to the child, well, you and your dad and I, we had some differences, and I just believe it would be our best interest for me to take care of you and your father to, remotely parent you with visitation rights. No, she's like, your dad's a bad person. He doesn't love you. He's a dirtbag. He cheated on me. He did all this, and all men are bad, and this guy's just a monster. And that's what they do. And then these girls grow up because they're kids. They don't know anything. You tell a kid anything, they'll fucking believe it, right? Kids believe in fucking Santa Claus, for fuck's sake, right? So you tell them over and over and over. That's like a deep emotional scar that you put in a child from a young age. And you fuck them up. You fuck them up. And then these girls go out there and they fucking hate men. And then it becomes like a self-fulfilling cycle, right? They don't know how to choose a good man. Their mom describes like a demonized version of their father. They have like this love for their father, so they kind of like fall in love with this demonized version that their mother is hitting them with propaganda for. And then they go out and chase these men who are absolute dog shit based upon their mom's programming, and then just get heartbreaking. They become jaded, alone, and then by the time they've racked up 20 bodies, forget it. You're done. You can't properly connect with somebody. Okay. You definitely you can't. So you're just seeing the end game here. This is like the end game of feminism right here. And then this is why it's so important to keep families together, but in America, no fault divorce, they throw the father right out. Good luck. Good luck. I feel like China and or Russia has infiltrated our education systems in America and it's been putting this propaganda in people's minds as payback for World War II, quite frankly. Chotsky, 499 super chat. This is a case study of how a woman can fundamentally destroy a man while making it all about herself. Welcome to modern solipsism. Money muscles, game trade for life. Shout out to you, bro. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, education has been infiltrated since 1945. I believe it. Let's continue on with this, L father on his behalf.
Me. Well, that seed within me that is like, well, are all men like that? Like, if my dad doesn't love me, how is any man gonna love me? I didn't realize that at 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started getting into like 16, 17, when I start, having those kind of intimate relationships with men and realizing, oh wow, this area is quite unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at a young age, and that's what happens. Single mother households, sexual promiscuity begins at an earlier age as well. So she started sleeping around when she was 16, 17.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Of just like how I viewed myself. I was either giving too much or not enough. I'm either hot or super cold. Emotionally.
Yeah.
And so trying to regulate and understand, because, my understanding is that a young girl's first relationship and understanding of love is with her father. I didn't have that at all. Mm-hmm. So I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that, and again, going back to the relationships I've had with girls in the past, like the Chinese girl I told you about, she fucking hated her dad. She hated her dad because her dad was cheating sloppy, cheating on the mom, and the mom stayed with her. And what happened to this Chinese chick? She became this fucking rabid feminist and fucking turbo whore, all because of daddy, right? And then the other side of this coin is like, the girls that have like great relationships with their fathers, healthy relationships, love their father. Father's a good guy, took them camping, took them fishing when they're little, raised them to be right. They have healthy outlook on men. They have healthy outlook on relationships, and they're good women. So like when you meet a girl who comes from a broken family, you have an uphill battle. you have an uphill battle ahead of you. And America, when they're churning out fucking single mother households like they're fucking, bullets in World War II, good luck. Good luck. 75%, I believe it, no, I think it's like 67 or I think it's 75% of black households in the United States of America are single mother households. And I think they're trending towards that number with the white community. And it's all done by design too. Everybody know, all the guys in the black community knows, like they try, the government, the organizations, they try the treacherous on the black community first. And if it's successful in the black community, they spread it to the white community, right? That's why they did fucking gonorrhea and all the STD shit with the black community and the black prisoners. I think it was like the 50s or 60s. And then that shit worked. And like, all right, it fucked up the blacks. Now let's fuck up the whites. And for some of you guys that are not black, you don't get it. But like for the guys that are black, like you guys know what I'm talking about. And I think the single mother household thing is another part of the elites, because strong families are the enemy of the ones in power. And, it worked swimmingly with the black community, and now they're working on the white community.